Welcome onto the Path of the Jaguar. Michael here. We have a new guest for the first time, Mr. Eddie or Adis.
Adis, yeah.
Adis, we're going for Adis. I know you as Eddie. I want to call you Adis, but I had to make sure people know that there's some discrepancies here.
It's a tough one.
Mm-hmm. So we have actor slash model, slash hand model.
Hand model, yeah.
Very, very important. Anything else I need to throw in there? That's
accountant.
Yeah, you got to make sure your money's right.
Yeah. Is there anything else? Athlete, nerd.
Important.
I don't know. A little bit of everything, I guess.
A little bit of everything. And we'll learn more as we go. Before we jump in, though, I have to talk about two big things. First thing is Unseen Cove. Have I got to tell you about Unseen Cove at all? You don't know anything about Unseen Cove because it's unseen. It's a secret, bro. That is mine and Freddie's clothing website.
Oh, okay. All right. No, I know about it, but I didn't know the name of it. Yes.
Yeah, now you do. Now you're part of the secret, the Unseen Cove.
Unseen Cove.
Yeah. So we've been pumping a lot of stuff out, like, because me and Freddie, we just have an artistic mind and we design. So we've been putting a lot of shirts, hoodies, hats,
That's awesome.
Really cool stuff that so far a lot of people have been liking. Now that we're into Christmas season, because that's actually how we started. We started with Christmas sweaters, and then now we get to come back to
You started with Christmas sweaters? Like,
yes.
That's the first thing you ever...
Because that was the motivation.
Wow.
It was like, oh, Christmas is coming up. If we're going to make a website, let's do it now. Yeah. And like Freddie thought of a really good one where it's like Santa with a joint, and he says, where's the tree? So it was just like, oh, we're doing this.
That's so good, because it's kind of just like funny, casual, because a lot of people do shirts, and they'll do like T-shirts, right? And it's mostly just like, you know, whatever brand they're trying to grow or whatever idea, but you're just like fun, creative, and put it out there.
I'm gonna have you do my commercials from now on. Exactly. That's exactly what we're going for. We want fun clothes. We're not just trying to push a fucking logo. It's not about that. It's about, I got this cool idea. I want to see this
creativity.
I want to see it manifested. So that's been cool. UnseenCove.com. Yeah. The second one you are aware of. You are actually a customer of solar. You are a solar customer. So for the people who don't know, you can get solar on your house. Literally doesn't cost you anything. You get a lower bill. You help the environment. You get tax incentives. I didn't think about this till now, but can you give us any things that you like about it?
It's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer. There you go. Fucking solar customer here telling you.
Yeah, it's a joke. I mean, I'm a math guy, right? Accountant, so I calculated the savings, and I think it was something like I was gonna cut my bill yearly, like in half, something like that, when you consider the rebates and stuff, and like nothing up front. They do all the work. And it's just on, and you forget about it. So, no-brainer. Yeah.
No-brainer. On, and you forget about it, it's a no-brainer. Exactly. If you want to know more things about solar, there is an email address in the description, mediafibonaut@gmail.com. Just shoot me an email. There's also 20 states that we're in. If you're in one of those states, reach out to me, and I'll find a representative who will help you out. And hopefully your house qualifies, and we can save you some money. But now...
Definitely.
We can get into the real podcast now. Now we're here.
Get into everything.
We're getting into everything, man. That's it. I already know where I want to start. You had a show.
Oh, okay. The theater.
Yes.
Okay, yes.
Yes, that's because I haven't got to talk to you about it.
Yes.
And I purposely didn't talk to you about it because I wanted to talk about it here. What kind of show was it? Like, what was it about?
So it's a theater group. It's like a small company on Long Island, and they get... actors together. I haven't asked about the experience of the other actors. Like, they're all good. So I don't know what level they've done, which is interesting. Because this is my first time doing theater. Like, I've done...
You've never done...
Never. Like, the last time I done theater was 6th grade.
That counts, right?
And it counts. But, I mean, it was just like, you had to do it because it was a class. Like, hey, class, we're doing theater. And, like, it's so long ago. But I remember where, like, the other teachers were kind of like... I don't know if they would talk shit. I don't know.
Of course they talk shit. They're humans.
I don't know. I wasn't sure if I was going to be cursing or not. But anyway, I mean, shit's not a big deal.
No, curse all you
want. But like, they're like, oh, like she takes her kids to like the auditorium like for 2 hours a day. And it's like, they should be doing this instead. And it's like, whatever. We went. It was mad fun. I actually had 2 roles. I did a lot in that. I don't remember too much. I had a couple roles. They were like based off... is it like Disney characters? I don't remember. But I had to kiss a girl, so that was cool. Mad young.
Amazing.
And then I'll remember that when I was done, a different teacher came into our classroom when it was all done, and like she singled me out. She's like, "Hey, like you did amazing." And at the time, like I didn't even think about it. It's like, "Oh, okay, cool." But And now that I'm like really focusing on
funny.
acting, I'm like, it kind of just like lines up. It's like, oh, like I had something in me with acting even when I was really young. So it's really cool. Like I really like that memory. But
And at that time, it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to become an actor. You know how those stories are like, that's when I knew this was going to, it was just, oh, cool, thanks, and I'm going to move on. Like, but before we get back to
I
theater.
gotta get to the theater group, right?
No, I want to know, how long ago, how many years ago were you like, I'm fucking acting? That's it.
Oh, okay.
I know for sure this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It wasn't too long ago, right?
No, I think it was only been like maybe 3-4 years ago.
Okay, so very recent. Okay,
Yeah, kind of recent because I started modeling because I've always had that in the back of my mind
Okay.
because, we're not just me, our whole family's good looking.
So far, you guys have seen plenty. There's more to come.
It's really funny.
Sucks with people listening on the audio. They don't get the full
you hang
experience.
out, yeah, and then people are like, oh, you should model or you should do this. Have you tried it? And like, it's always in the back of my mind. I've always felt like, oh, I'm gonna do it. So I started doing modeling, and that was maybe like 6-7 years ago.
Okay.
And then a couple years in, I was like, hey, like, what else can I do? And my agency's like, hey, well, have you thought of acting? I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah,
I have
my
thought
teacher
of
said I was really good. Should I bring her in?
How did I forget about this like passion I had? Because the other thing too is that I remember when before I went to school, I was thinking, and before you go to college, you figure out like, oh, what do I want to do? And I got a teacher. I want to be, I don't know, a doctor, a lawyer, and I remember saying to myself, I was hanging out with my friend, I was like, I kind of want to be an actor. Like it's so weird, but like this thing, it's been in my past, and it just kind of comes in and disappears. And then like the last 3 or 4 years, I'm like, no, I love this shit. I'm gonna do this. So that's what I've been doing.
Yeah, there seems to be like a trend that I see. It's like with me, like I've jumped to this career and that career, and there's all these things that I want to do. But it seems like the one thing that stays steady is just in generally being creative, specifically writing.
Oh, nice.
And it's like it seems like that's what it is. Like there's gonna be a calling that we all have, and it's gonna chase us down, and no matter what, we can't get away from it.
Yeah.
And if you do, like you're gonna
It's
live
your
in
purpose.
it.
Right?
Yeah.
I was going to say before we continue with the theater group is that, again, like every time I go to like auditions, I see maybe like a script for a student film or even like work that gets put together. I always come back, I'm like, Mike can do this so much better. Like you have.
Thank you.
I'm not just saying because he's my cousin. Like legit. Like I look at the writing and I look like the editing we did, that music video at the school and stuff.
Yep.
Like that was so good because it was edited so well. Like that's what I think made that video. I was in it, so I made it great. But
You were the star. You're the.
but the way it was edited, it keeps it interesting. It's cool, different angles. Like it just, I don't know. It just it keeps you interested. So yeah, man. Like I really hope you keep doing it. I really hope you like write because like I think both those two things. But I think the writing, it really stands out. The way you really think things through very carefully.
Yeah, like I'm sure a similar reason why like you've been so pulled into acting, the same reason I was pulled into writing, where it's like I love film, I love shows, I love well written things, I love well shot things, and when I watch them, it's either I go, wow, this is amazing, like I have such an appreciation for it, or I go, what the fuck are they doing? They're ruining this. Like if it was me, I would do this and that, you know. So it's like it haunts me. Essentially, and that's why I'm saying like I can't avoid the thing. I have to do it because it's like
you're like, oh, I could have wrote it this way, or I would have shot it from this angle and stuff. Like, yeah, no, I totally see what you're saying. Even when I watch like TV and film, when somebody says something, I'm like, oh, I think if they said it this way, it would have stuck more, and it would have made. Or you can hear like, oh, like they didn't really say that, like they didn't really. It wasn't genuine, or like you can tell they were just saying the lines here, and like I'm not perfect, like I do that too, but you can pick that stuff up and like you want to do it, and like I want to try and do that and do it better, things like that.
That's a good point. It's funny. We're gonna keep going off topic. It's no big deal.
We'll get back to the theater group.
Yeah, we'll eventually. We'll finish off with that. Freddie talks about this a lot because Freddie makes music that he says like he can't experience music the way we experience music because he can see it behind the scenes. And me and you deal with the same thing now.
Oh yeah, we see. When somebody's acting like, oh, like the lighting's here and the crew is there and there's probably mics on them and stuff.
Yeah, like you can't what is it? Suspend disbelief. Chris, you can say what up.
What up? Yep.
Yeah, I wanted to finish our sentence before I got distracted. It's popping.
Did you finish it? I'm not sure.
But yeah, so like when I'm like, I'll be watching a movie and I'll be so into it and I'm like, I'm in the story and then I'll go. again, there's a microphone right here, there's a camera here. Like, how did he get that shot? Like, ooh, how would I do this? Yeah. And it does essentially take away from it because you're kind of seeing behind the curtain. Mm-hmm. But it is cool to have that knowledge, and that's exactly how I am. Where like I see it, and it's like I want to make it my own. I want to do that, but I want to do it better. Mm-hmm. And it's.
Or you see something you like and you take that idea for your own thing for something different, like tweaked it later. Yeah,
since forever. But all right, go on. So like you met this group. How did you get into like meeting these people? How did you know about the theater itself?
Yes, what happened was I wanted to take some more acting classes because I haven't taken some in a while, and I found an acting class in down Port Jeff, right near my house, and the professor, I guess, instructor. I don't know what they call acting teachers.
Acting teachers.
Yeah, right. Well, instructor. He's like, oh, have you done theater before? I was like, no, not really. He's like, oh, do you want to? I was like, yeah, why not? So I saw like, I didn't know if I wanted to do it, but I knew it would be great experience. Of course. And I was like, you know what, like, I don't know how I feel about it, but I'm just gonna make myself do it. Mm-hmm. He's like, all right, go here, audition. I went to this guy's house, it's kind of like casual. It's kind of small. So I go there and I audition, and then he's like, so I read it one way, and then they ask you to read it differently. So that's how the audition process goes. Like, so they try and see if you can, take direction, right, and like do different things. Because some people, like, you say, hey, can you try this, and they say the same.
Okay, yeah, and
so that just shows like they're not able to adjust. But anyway, so I auditioned, and then they talked about it for a few minutes. Like, hey, you know what, we're gonna use you. They already had the girl because the play is just me and a girl, and then we started rehearsing and we started performing. I've done 5 performances so far. Yeah.
Oh shit! Yeah.
It's a lot of performances, I gotta say. And
it's you and one other girl.
Me and a girl. But there's other. So the group, there's like 5 total plays going on.
Okay.
So we go on Long Island from different libraries. And we performed the 5 plays.
How do you compare it to, like, because I know you go and you've done like all these other type of like behind the camera, like what's the film?
Short films, local commercials and stuff like that.
How do you compare film to like theater? Like, does it feel very different? Can you tell like it's like I'm doing a completely different thing? Or?
Yeah, it's very. I think the performing is extremely different because you still have to memorize the lines. Mm-hmm. Rehearse and just learn it and try and get try and bring it to life. So what happens is like you don't do that much at a time. You probably have like 10-15 lines or something, right? Because you're not gonna you got the camera, the lighting, adjust here, this angle, that. Mm-hmm. So you do bits and pieces at a time with film. And of course, if you mess up a line, they'll be like, cut.
Yeah, and we can redo
it again. So there's very little. I mean, there's still nerves. There's still like a little bit of pressure because you want to do it well, and you don't want to mess up because then you look like you're not prepared. Mm-hmm. But the level of it's like I feel like I'm on chili or something right now. But anyway, the level of like nerves or like preparation you need or like the experience is completely different.
Yeah, you got to be way more prepared because you have to continue. How long is the show?
My performance for this specific play is 15 minutes long.
There you go. Like, and then that's it. You have to one fuck up and then...
Yeah, you got to go through start to finish. And it's so crazy because it's not just a camera and like a crew of people. You have an audience. You have like strangers. It can be 20, 30, 40 people and you're on your own, really. It's you and the other person. And it's like, well, if you mess up, like everybody's going to see you mess up.
Yeah.
If you mess up, you can't start over. If you mess up, you got to figure your way out.
Have you had to do that yet? Where you fuck up a line and you just.
I have not.
Yeah. It's gonna happen eventually, right? Like
crazy.
It's inevitable.
It's gonna happen eventually. It's gonna be a great learning experience. Yeah. But I try and I like to be over prepared.
Okay.
I really don't want that to happen. But it will. So I try to do everything so it doesn't. But like I will say, I need to point out that the first time I performed, I was. So freaking nervous. I think it was the most nervous I've ever been in my life with anything. Like, because it was technically, I don't want to count the 6th grade play. And it's a good thing we mentioned that because I had to.
Otherwise, you'd be like, what the fuck? What?
So that doesn't count because, like, I was a kid. I don't remember. Like, who cares? You're a kid. But, like, so this was really, like, my first time. Mm-hmm. Like, you're a kid if you mess up whatever. So if you're an adult, you're really trying to do this as well as possible. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to be on stage. I haven't been on stage with an audience. I got start to finish, 6 pages of lines. Like I haven't had to do that much. Maybe in like an acting class, but again, a class like
It's a class.
you're not,
yeah.
You know, you're gonna get a grade. And you're expected to mess up. It's like whatever. But I went. But and then I'll also point out that it's funny. So the first line, I messed up the first line, but it wasn't to the point where the audience would know.
Yeah,
it was just like I said, like I forgot. It's like, hey, Daisy, but I'm supposed to say Daisy, right? Like I'm supposed to be unsure about her name, but when she first walked in, I was like, hey, Daisy. So I say her name, and like that happens. You see somebody, and you're like, "Hey, wait, is that your name?"
Yes.
So like they don't really know, but it's so funny because like I'm so nervous. I'm like, all right,
literally the first line.
Get the first
line.
word. Get the first line right. Get the first line right. It's like, hey.
and I'm sure that's a big aspect of it. Is just like rolling with the punches. You fucked it up, and it didn't stop you from continuing the next 15 minutes.
No.
It's just
and I'm like shocked that like I've not shocked, but I guess shocked about the first performance. Mm-hmm. The first performance, maybe like I said a line or two out of order, or like maybe like, you know, maybe one sentence in front, like very minor. Like out of 100% perfect, maybe I was like 98% perfect, and it's insane because I was like terrified.
Well, you have been doing auditions for a bit, and you have been working on lines. We've done our own things, and you're just a smart person generally, so you're going to be able to memorize a lot of the stuff.
Yeah, so
it's not easy.
Very studious.
Yeah, no, you are, and that's one thing where it's like, this is only going to make you even better at it, because now if you can sit there and talk for 15 minutes.
I was going to say, sorry to cut you off,
no,
but like after that first time, it's like just getting over that first hump. It's the next 2 or 3 have been like so easy. Not like easy, but like nowhere near. Like if I was at 10 nervous, now I'm at like 3 nervous. Like it's a joke. Now it's like, all right, let's do this. Let me try and tweak this line. I'm like so much more confident. It's like, you know, we talk about, you know, when you progress in life and you get more experience, you level up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what it feels like. I'm like, wow, like this. And I went into it because it's going to be a great experience. And then after doing it, I'm like, wow, this is amazing experience. Because it's, when you do a short film, it's very quick. You know, you just like, you know, have a few lines, you shoot it one day, maybe 2 days or whatever. But this is like, it's longer, and like you do the lines, you perform multiple times, so you get like comfortable in front of people. Mm-hmm. You got to go through the lines, you have to deal with like, just working your way through and everything, and then you just get so much confidence after actually doing it. You're like, wow, if I can do this, like film is easy now. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, and that's exactly where I was gonna go with that. Where it's like, how much easier is that all this gonna be? Like I'm gonna have to talk for 30 seconds. Well, I was doing it for 30 minutes. So I like. It seems like you're very happy about the theater thing. I'm happy for you because it's awesome, man. And definitely do more of those.
Yeah, I'm thinking hopefully something else comes up, and like, you know, it's a different type of character, and like different, you know, it's gonna be different obviously. But I'm looking forward to like a new experience, but like, you know, just getting better at it because it's
also
just
networking.
Only gonna help.
You're also meeting people. You're meeting other actors, meeting other people that you can put in short films, but also people are gonna be like, oh, you'd be good for this. I'm like. And people, somebody might see you and then go, oh, I want you for this. So it's like, it's just like anything else. Like the more you put yourself out there, the more you do, there's the compound effect, and more is going to get pulled in because you're going to meet more people, and you're also going to get better, and you're going to meet people that made you better, and you're going to get better because of those people. So that's fucking cool.
My eye's like twitching for some reason. Do you even you notice it?
No. is that nerves or is it just excitement?
No, the last few days for some reason, like I just feel like, whatever, it doesn't matter.
No, go for it. What, like
it's just like I don't know if you have like a blood vessel or vein or something, and it's just like.
I've had that happen.
So I noticed it's very. I've never had that before. I have no idea.
You think it's your diet?
Just like
maybe you need to eat some meat, bro. Eat some meat, and that'll fix that.
We'll get to that in a second.
We're getting to that now.
Oh man, but it's weird. Wait, I was gonna say something.
Go for it. Go for it.
No, but I feel great about it. I was gonna point that like. You know, when you do something and then like you get positive feedback. It just, you know, besides getting through it and like feeling good about yourself, when you get somebody come up to you after that.
Ready?
I'll continue. So, or maybe I'll hold up for a second.
Perfectly fine. Don't even worry about it.
He'll be right back.
I'm busy. You guys are fine. Make all the noise you need. No, you're good. Have a good night.
They having a party downstairs or upstairs?
There's an argument going on upstairs. People are fighting.
I didn't hear a thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I was literally like rushing. Like, all right, go. I'm doing something right now.
Very important.
I feel like a dick, but what am I gonna do about it?
But I was gonna say, like, I've had. I mean, again, like the audience that comes, like they're not like serious. They're not like directors looking like scrutinizing your performance, but they are people. They're looking at it and they're like seeing if they enjoyed it or not. And every single show I've had people like specifically come up to me like, hey, like you did a great job. Like I really liked your performance, and like that makes me feel fucking amazing.
Yeah, no,
like,
of course, man.
And like I don't know. Again, like you do something, but you don't know what you look like. Like, are you doing it well? You're not doing it well. Does it come across and not come across? So, you know, when I have somebody come up, and like, I'm pretty sure like not every part is great because I can feel it. Like, so I'm like, oh, this line, like I haven't really found, you know, how to say it where it feels genuine or it feels right. But like a good portion of it I feel great. So when somebody comes up, it's like, hey, like you did a great job. Like they go out of their way, they walk over and be like, hey man, what's your name? Like you did great. Like, it's fucking amazing. Like it makes me feel like, hey, like I'm on my right path.
Of the jaguar. Thank you for looking at the camera when you did it and perfect, pausing right? Before. We're again, you're gonna be our spokesperson. You're gonna make commercials for us.
Get on the path. It's very natural, right? So,
you're a fucking actor. That's why. That was real.
But I'm being for real here.
I'm being for real.
I'm not acting this way. This is me. Yeah, so it's been cool. Let's see. So I guess we'll talk about what the play is. It's comedy, right? So it's me and this girl. Her name is Barbara Walsh, right? So she's actually really good. She seems very confident in what she's doing. I can tell that my thing is, I hope I'm coming out clear on the mic because I seem to mumble, and so I wasn't like.
I do it too. I do it too, man.
So, yeah, but she has great diction, right? And like she's doing like great. Like so, I learned from her. You feed off of her. So the plays were on our first date, you know, like blind date kind of. Whoa, and and it's weird because it goes through a whole like series. So it's like one date, but we talk about so many different things where it feels like 3 dates. You know, first we're just like getting to know each other, cracking corny jokes, and it's like let's go hike this path today. Like that's my plan as my character, right? My character's Denny and hers is Daisy, and so I'm like, let's go. And like every time we try to go, somebody's like, no, we're not going yet. We need to talk this through. We need to talk about this topic, or what about this topic?
Okay.
So it's like, again, like first it's like you get to know somebody, then you're like, all right, well now you like learn a new layer of their personality or of like their life or their interests or their background. So but then it turns into like a pretty really, really funny comedy where I don't want to give it away. It's not a big deal. But at one point, it gets really funny because she asked me, she's like, oh, are you planning on kissing me at the end of the date? And you're like, what the hell are you talking? So we have like a back and forth, and she starts like going through all this stuff because she has a unique personality, all these weird quirks. Is that the word?
Quirks.
Quirks
is physics. Yeah. She's got quirks?
And
oh,
then,
shit.
I have my own little weird things and nuances in my history, so we open up to each other. But anyway, you get a lot of laughs, corny jokes.
Is this written, is this like a popular play, or is this written by the people in the theater group?
So actually, the person who wrote it is the instructor from the acting class.
Cool.
And this is the second time I think it's being performed. So it was performed last year by somebody else. I think his name was Michael.
Good name. Solid name.
Not sure about his last name. And then this year it's Adis.
Your name is perfect for that, man. Just Adis.
And then if you ever want to, I guess the show is, I'm mostly going to do the talking, but don't. I guess I'm supposed to do the talking, right? Whatever, because I'm the guest. But
do whatever you want, bro.
Whatever you want.
You're home.
But I guess to give more information about the other ones, there's other plays that are also comedies. I'm in a second play, a smaller role, where this one's also really funny. So it's an older couple that's meeting with a priest. It's I guess before you get married. Also after you get married. I guess whatever. It's like an older couple meeting with a priest because they're having relationship issues.
Okay.
And the play starts off where they're just like bickering and fighting because they're having issues and they're trying to work on their marriage and back and forth, and they sound like kids, like bickering and
like
laughing.
Teenagers arguing.
Yeah, really bad. More like kids.
Kids.
It's
Okay.
Really
Okay.
It's
So
like
even
really
worse.
Obnoxious, like silly, like fighting.
Oh, to be humorous. That's what he's doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess when you're in a relationship with somebody, you do act like a kid, right? You get a little
of course.
It's like you left the toilet seat up. It's like, shut up, who cares? Anyway, so then they're arguing, and then I come in with my new, we're about to get married, so we're like a young couple, and he's like, hey, like there's a couple coming in, and they're in love, and you need to see like this old couple fighting. The priest's like, you need to see them because then you can see what love is like, because you guys forgot what love is like. Now you just hate each other, and then we come in all lovey-dovey. And then eventually, as the play goes on, it ends up switching. Like, I end up fighting with my soon-to-be wife, I guess, in the play. And then they end up, like, being back affectionate. But that one's really funny, too. So I'm in that one. And then what's the last one? The last one's funny, too, because without talking about the whole thing, the guy is playing, like, a drunk person because he pretends to be his brother, who is an actual wine taster. And he's like, I can't go for you. He's like, yeah, you got to go. I got to do this. And he goes and he starts like, you're supposed to sip the wine and then spit it out. And he just starts chugging freaking wine. And next you know he's drunk. But anyway.
And these are all written by the same guy?
They're all, I don't know who wrote the other ones. But they're all funny and they're all cool. 5 hours long. So I invited some of our family and stuff. So hopefully you guys can come.
Yeah, let me know the next one.
Yeah, I'm performing 3 more times.
Cool.
But they're...
All in December or...
Let's see. So I have 1 this weekend and then 2 in December, I think.
Cool.
So, yeah.
What I'm gonna do at the end is, if you want, say the play name now. I could throw things in the description. I definitely want to put in the alien video that you mentioned earlier, the one we recorded with Troop de Coup.
What's the name of the?
You don't even know the name of the play.
Hold on, it's Trail Mix.
Trail Mix.
Yes, because my character I bring my bag and it's supposed to have trail mix in it because I'm like, hey, like I brought everything we need for the hike or something. I brought trail mix, and she's like, what? Trail mix?
Okay.
So that starts this whole thing because she's her character's different. But anyway, we don't have to go into that.
Cool though. It sounds like you're having fun, man.
I'm gonna give away the whole freaking play in a second. But anyway, it's called Trail Mix.
Can only ruin it so much, you know. Go there for the experience. I already know it though, so now I don't have to go. So I just got myself.
No, I didn't give you that much.
I'm kidding.
All you know is we're gonna wait. She asked to kiss me.
I figured there's got to be a kiss in the play, man.
Maybe
that's important.
What if we make out? Hardcore. Even better.
The fucking live porn. That's what they need, man. They need live porn. Does that exist yet?
No idea. I don't know if I want to see that.
Sounds.
Imagine.
You know how like was it Gallagher, the comedian who would like smash watermelons?
Oh yeah.
You know how like people have those like plastic sheets that would have to like pick up over their heads? That's probably what you'd have to bring for the live porn, so you don't get fluids on you. It's a nice image.
Damn, imagine.
Are you good on the play? Because I know we started going into vegan waters earlier, and I wanted to talk about that if you're ready for that, or if you want to jump into something else. Much power to you.
The play. Yeah, I mean, I'm good, man. The theater's awesome. I've been doing like some submitting for short films. I did like self-tapes the other day, and they emailed me back. They're like, oh, it's great work you did. We're going to be in touch with you. It's a crime reenactment. So it's like, I want to keep doing like, taking small steps and building, but I can't really, I don't know, I can't think of anything else. But the play's going on.
It's good, man.
And I love it.
I can't wait to start seeing you in like on TV more.
Yeah,
like,
right. I have a few things on TV. You know what?
Like
I keep getting a message from friends or whatever about which one is it? Where it's a jewelry commercial when I'm like proposing to somebody.
Yes, I've seen that one.
So like that's pretty cool. So every now and then somebody's like, "Hey, I saw you on TV." So it's kind of cool. I don't get too. It is good, but I guess like I don't get too excited because like I'm kind of like I'll get more excited when it's like a national commercial. Yeah, like I just. Those are great things, but I really believe and I know that I can do something like.
That's how it starts off, though. It's like little by little. Like, how can you expect to be in something big if you haven't even done the basic things? So it's like, so it's cool, like to see the progress, and like you were saying before, like just getting the praise and the compliments, like how empowering that is, how good that is for you. Yeah. So it's literally helps you.
It's all in your mind.
Yeah, that's it.
You gotta believe in yourself first. Before other people start believing in you.
But that's it. But like people believing you just fucking bumps up your belief in yourself. Yeah, it's a feedback loop.
Yeah, exactly. It's a loop, right? It feeds itself, like you're saying. So you were going to talk about the other thing I wanted to talk about was
go for it, dude. You're the guest
vision
here.
Thing.
Adis is on. Adis gets to talk about where the fuck he wants to talk about.
This is my show. Damn, Path of Adis. But no, because that one I do want to get to that one. But I also want to talk about the vision improvement, right? Because we didn't.
Yeah, we spoke about that. Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's really good. But I also want. There's a lot of stuff I want to talk about.
Dude, we got
all night. So
go
whatever.
for it.
You might have to cut it.
Wing it.
I don't know if you want to timestamp it. Be like, hey, topic number 2.
All right, we just go for it, man. We
might
flow.
go into financial stuff. I
I
do want to talk about it too.
Gotta have the little signs. Scene 2 now.
Scene 2. Yeah, no, I think this was really interesting because it kind of affects. Well, I guess everything affects her, but I'm really interested in like the vision improvement stuff, and it's working.
Can you explain vision improvement again? I remember vaguely, but it helps explain to everybody.
Yeah,
as well.
so I'm gonna have to build a little foundation here. So just give me a second.
Lay the bricks down.
So, you know how you at some point, for whatever reason, like at some point you don't see well, and maybe it could be your parents or your teachers or whatever. You're like, oh, like maybe you need glasses, and then you go to the optometrist, right? Is that what they're called?
Optometrist, yeah.
Okay, and like it's basically. You go to it's a retail shop that sells glasses, right? So you're gonna get glasses to help with your eyes, with your problem. Like it's weird because like you think about things differently now when you look back at what I've researched and stuff. So anyway, I was looking to try and get laser eye surgery, and like I couldn't because I have injury to my left eye when I was younger. So I was like 10, 11. I got hit baseball bat, and like the pupil didn't heal properly, and I can't get this eye to 2020, like no matter what.
Okay.
So like, hey, like the guy's like, we don't want to mess with your eyes because like you really only have one really good eye. The other one's like, eh. It's not terrible, but it's not great either.
Yeah, you got hit with a bat.
Yeah. There's only so much you can do after that. So then I was like, all right, well, I really want to figure something. Maybe there's something else I can do that, some whatever. And like, I casually would look at, just Google eye vision improvement. Like there's certain things. I did come across something that's called Bates method. And, at first it seems there are people it's like a real thing. There's somebody called William Bates, right? Like from years ago, I think it's the early 1900s, where he would, work with students or like a school. I think at one point he worked with like a school of kids, and he had them do certain things with their eyes. Like, hey, like look at this thing on the wall every day for like 20 minutes in class. Like it has to be, I guess it had to be a certain distance. Sorry, I blocked the camera. And so he learned that like kids' eyes did improve when they did these things.
Cool.
But I guess I don't know if it's like falls under conspiracy or not. But anyway, that was definitely, as far as I can tell, legit. And eventually, like, I think what happened is that they kind of like pushed him under the rug, because then glasses started coming in too.
You gotta sell glasses, yeah.
It's like, hey, how are we gonna sell glasses if you're fixing people's eyes for free? Like, not for free, but like we can make more money on them if what is that? It's like
that's my phone. Yeah,
you didn't put it on silent.
Keep talking. I'll do that. There's a lot of interruptions in this one, man. Keep going.
It's a good one then. Now you can see Mike's ass perfectly. So that one. I don't want to spend too much time on Bates method, but like it's legit for up to a point. But it doesn't get you all the way back to this other program, this other person I came across named Jake Steiner. I mean, I'm not promoting his stuff, but whatever. He's the person
Okay.
I don't work for the guy. I swear. But anyway, so he really was. I like this guy because he really went into like the peer-reviewed science. Like, he would talk about how, hey, like if you go on Google Scholar and you search like these different terms. One is called axial elongation, which is like your eye changing shape. One's called pseudomyopia. So that foundation, let me step one step back. So myopia is the term for being like nearsighted, basically.
Okay.
If you have myopia, it's because you can see close, but you have trouble seeing far. And he's so he did his research and stuff, and he said he personally went from -5 to back to 2020. Like,
holy shit,
perfect vision. It takes a while.
Doing the same thing Bates was doing.
So No, he doesn't do the Bates thing.
Okay.
I mean, like he says it works for like a small portion, but it's not really like long term.
Okay.
To get you all the way back to like perfect vision, right? So he talks about the term. So what happens with your eyes and how they get worse is that you have to learn about how the eye works. Like how are you supposed to use your eye? What happens when you do this or do that? So your eye is generally, like we're today, modern society, we live in like boxes. We live in a home, right?
Boxes.
We're surrounded by walls everywhere. We drive in
boxes.
boxes, right? And it's crazy. And then we stare at a box. That's from what's his name?
Yeah, I'm trying to make them. I feel like I'm fucking quoting something.
Life coach guy,
Tony Robbins. That's
well, we're both guys. Yeah, so he has a thing where he talks about that. He's cool too. So if we were back in the day, right, and born in nature, we spend all of our time outdoors, and our vision would be looking at freaking trees and mountains in your garden or whatever. Like, you'd be spending much more time looking at things that are far away than close. So our eyes they're technically designed to spend most of your time looking at things far and sometimes close.
Okay.
But today we do the opposite. Yeah. We're like on our phones, we're on computers, we're watching TV. And I don't know, when you're in your room and or even if everywhere you look, you're like, that's not far enough. This is close, this is close, this is close. So it's like
even
it's
if you're
really
doing
weird.
things that are productive, like I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I'm working out, like you're still not working out your eyes.
You're not allowing your eye to be like used like
naturally,
right? So, and it's not a big deal where like if you're moving, because what happens when you look at things that are close, which is anything less than 20 feet.
Wow.
There's this muscle that in your eye called the ciliary muscle, right? So the light comes into your eye, it goes through the lens and hits the back of the eye on the retina, right? And then your brain creates the image, and then you can freaking see, right? So if something's closer, that's how the eye works.
Magic. That's what I heard.
It is freaking magic, right? And the funny thing is, the light comes in the image comes in upside down.
Yep, I remember.
And your brain
that.
reverses it. It's crazy, but it all makes sense if you if you use geometry, because like the light from the floor goes up and hits the back top of your eye. So anyway, and then
I learned this in physics. I remember drawing it out and all that stuff. I got a cool little anecdote about that, but we'll go on afterwards.
Nice. So then when something's close, the eye's not coming in. So over 20 feet, it comes in like basically parallel. But if it's closer, it's coming in at different angles. So that ciliary muscle has to adjust your lens in your eye to adjust the angle of that light so it can hit the proper back spot in your eye.
Okay.
So let's say, right, so right now I'm looking at your kitchen, it's mad far. I mean, I don't have my glasses on, so everything's blurry. But anyway, once I look at something close, like this glass, now that muscle's like, and it's a muscle, so it's squeezing, it's tension, right? So, so what happens is, if you don't take a break, so if you look at something here and then look away, like the muscle's like squeezes and it relaxes, you're fine. But what happens with people, I don't know if it's, it seems like it's just bad habits, or some people say, and this other guy said it's like could be from trauma or something, but at one point what happens is that muscle squeezes, and if you don't take significant breaks, let's say like you're a kid and then like, or maybe not even a kid, you're at work or you're at school and you're staring at something here all day, and then you go home and now you're on your phone, and you go home and now you're on TV or whatever, like you never allowed that muscle to relax. So what happens is you get a spasm. Ciliary muscle spasm.
Okay.
Where that muscle goes, and it's like, sorry, bro.
That's what we're doing now.
I'm stuck right here.
Wow.
And then that keeps the muscle from relaxing and allowing the light to come back in from far away, parallel to hit properly. So that's the first sign of your eyes getting like fucked up.
Yeah.
Okay. That's called ciliary muscle spasm. All these terms you can look up. So ciliary muscle spasm, and then you get pseudo myopia, because I think that's an actual term. So it's I don't want to. I guess we don't have to get into too much stuff like a technical thing, but pseudo obviously means like not real, right?
Yes. Pseudo,
like pseudoscience.
No, I know the word too, but you're saying pseudo like was it nearsighted?
Like it's not myopia. So it's not true. It's not a real actual like condition. It's just it's like a temporary condition because of what you've been doing, and your eye's not really supposed to. You just fucked up, basically. It's your fault. Your eye's fine, but you did something wrong, and you fucked up your eye.
Yes,
basically.
yes.
That's kind of what it makes sense. So then what happens is, then it's not relaxing. You're like, fuck, I can't see far. And I cursed again. I try not
Curse.
to. I guess it doesn't matter, right?
Doesn't matter. So who cares?
I don't know. For some reason, I care, but whatever.
What am I going to pull it? Like, sorry, man, you cursed it. You cursed it too many fucking times in this one.
Because quickly off topic, I'm a huge fan of LeBron James. And, like, every now and then he does, like, stuff. Like, I think he did celebrated like a championship, and he's talking to all the fans, and he's cursing. I'm like, oh, that looks so bad. Like, don't curse, bro. But like, I guess it's super casual. But he was in front of like TV and like all these people, and he's like, fuck,
cool, man. We don't have as many viewers as LeBron right now. I doubt any kids are watching this.
I'm not a potty mouth. But anyway, so you go and you're like, I can't see, and then they have to get you glasses. And the glasses don't fix the problem. The problem was the muscle that got stuck, right? The glasses just allow the light to come in at a different angle to offset the wrong angle that's already in your lens to hit the light properly in the back of your eye. Yeah. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense.
Okay. Does that make sense, people? Yes. I hope it makes sense. So the lenses are just like making up for the fact that your muscles has spazzed out and your lens of your eyeball is not.
You're putting duct tape on it.
Yeah,
you're not actually fixing the motor. You're just wrapping around the duct tape.
Some people call glasses like crutches.
Yeah,
right.
Very
like,
much. Yeah.
Crutches don't fix your broken leg; they just allow you to walk with a broken leg. Right. So I think that's a perfect analogy. So that's just the first step of the problem, right? So they didn't fix the problem. The next problem is that you got the glasses. So when you go get your glasses, like, what are they helping you do? Like, they
look cool.
Besides look cool and smart automatically, they help you see things that are far. Yes. They're designed to help you see things that you can't see, which are far. They're not designed to help you see things that are close. They're specifically designed, and I'm going to repeat it, they're designed to help you see things that you can't see, but that are specifically far away. Okay, so they're meant for distance.
How about for far-sighted glasses?
So that's a whole other. So he.
Well, that I know that comes with age, but let's not go off the topic.
Yeah,
let's finish what you're saying.
Yeah,
there.
sorry. I mean, I haven't gotten too much into that. I guess I could figure that, but whatever. So let's say you're now wearing they're called glasses, but they're really distance glasses, right?
Distance glasses.
Let's say you're wearing your distance glasses, and now you're sitting in front of your computer, and your computer's like a couple feet away from your face.
Not even.
So like these glasses that are meant to see super far, now you're wearing them to see the computer screen. Okay? So they're overpowered.
Yeah.
Right?
So now you're straining your muscles more in your eyes.
So
I'd imagine.
Well, basically, it is an issue, but it's not really straining the muscle. What's happening is like the light is adjusted to hit the back of your eye properly for something that's far. So if you're close, now some of the light, this guy says, is hitting slightly back than it should. So I guess like the place where your light hits has a little like, I don't know, distance or something. So it has to hit here, but it could hit slightly further back. Okay. And if it hits in front of your eye, so I don't know, if this is your eyeball, it's supposed to hit the back of your eye.
Yes.
If it hits slightly in front, you're blurry, right? You can't see. So the glasses go in front and they allow the light to adjust and go back here.
Okay.
So if you're wearing distance glasses for your computer work, then the light is hitting too far back.
Okay.
And your brain's like, whoa, like something's wrong. The light is hitting slightly behind where it's supposed to. So then your eye, because the human body is like magical. The human body, I kind of wanted to talk about this for a second. It's like it natural. If you put it in a position, in a proper position, it can heal itself. Like we talked about, like when you have a broken leg.
Yeah, it heals itself. The cast doesn't do it.
If you like, I guess like put the bone back in place and then like keep it like still for a while, what they put like a brace or something, and then like you exercise it after a while, rehab, it's healed. So like you put it in a proper position to heal itself, right?
Yes.
So if you so it's basically that works with your eyes too. So basically
if you're used to doing that all the time, it's gonna correct for that.
Yeah, it's gonna correct for that. So I was gonna So if you're wearing the distance glasses for up close and the light's hitting too far back and your body's like, whoa, I got to adjust. So besides it healing, it also like adjusts the other way, right? Your body like adapts basically.
So I want to add what I was going to say earlier about the image coming in upside down and then our brains flipping it. So they have these special glasses that they bend the light in the other way. Ooh. So you put these glasses on and everything comes upside down. So you put on.
Let's go ahead.
So you put on these glasses, they make everything upside down. That's right. Awesome. And it's very weird because it's essentially doing the reverse of what it's doing the same thing our eyeballs are doing. Yeah. And you walk around with them for hours and hours and hours.
Wait, guess what happens? Even do that?
Just how would you like be able to? It would probably make you nauseous.
Maybe they did. They had people do that. Like
they wore the glasses and they're walking around with these things.
Okay.
After a while, the brain readjusts it. So everything
starts looking,
and then everything's normal again. Everything will pop up.
That's amazing.
It's fucking wild. And then you take them off, everything's upside down until your eyes get used to it again.
Holy fuck.
So it's very funny that like I was gonna bring it up anyways, but now that you're saying like these self-correcting mechanisms that our bodies and brains have, it's exactly what it does. Isn't that fucking crazy?
That's so crazy. Because the funny thing, I was like, has anybody ever been born with that issue, like not working? Like people are born with like issues. Yeah. Like maybe somebody was born where like that thing just doesn't work, where everything's just upside down.
I can only imagine by probability it happened. Most likely that person got eaten by a tiger because they thought it was like
and then the genes never multiplied, right?
Yeah, so right. How long can you live if everything's always
upside down?
Or maybe you can manage people.
Well, I wonder if maybe like when you're born, like maybe it's like it hasn't figured it out yet, and then eventually it's like and then it fixes it.
It's upside down. That's why nothing makes sense. I wonder
if like somebody like the body couldn't fix it.
Yeah, no, I'm again just by probability. I'm sure it's happened.
That's crazy though.
So what have you been doing? What have you been learning from these guys that has been? Because the word was vision improvement. It's funny. I should have assumed that when you said vision improvement, but I thought you were talking about like vision.
Yeah,
like
or we got to get through that. Okay, sorry. So it all makes. I like to build a foundation because once you understand, you'll be like, oh, so if I just do the opposite, it'll work backwards, right? So anyway, so now you're wearing distance glasses for computer work. They're overpowered. Now light's hitting too far back, and now your eye's elongating. Your eye's getting wider, and it's your eye elongates 1 millimeter for every 3 diopters of prescription, right?
What are diopters?
So like if whatever your prescription is for glasses, like so mine right now are I started off with like -3 and astigmatism, right? So diopters are like the distance. It's like a the thing is I like to be thorough, so I'm not gonna just.
I love like you sound like super professional.
I did watch something where the guy like reviewed it all recently, so that actually helped. But so like you can kind of like figure out what your prescription is, and I say it in quotes for a reason, but that's all right. It's all it is. It's like how far can you see clearly to? Mm-hmm. So like. If I put something here, I move back, and at one point it'll be blurry. So that's a number in centimeters. And then they use that number and they have a formula. I think it's an easy one, but I never looked at it.
And that's how they get
And it turns into a number, which is -3, for example, with my other glasses.
Okay.
So for every 3 diopters, your eye elongates 1 millimeter. It's a small amount, but obviously it makes a huge difference. So what happens is, that's because the light's hitting too far back, right? So then... Like we know the human body adapts, right? So what you just do backwards. So you got to put yourself in a position where the light is hitting slightly in front, okay? So that means, like I was saying, when the light's hitting slightly in front, you can't see. It's kind of blurry. Mm-hmm. So you have to put it in a situation where like you get slightly weaker glasses, okay? So if you're at -3, I'm not supposed to give. Everybody who does a video on vision improvement, like, I'm not a doctor, I'm not giving prescription improvement, because I don't know, I guess they're going to get sued or something.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So anyway, you get slightly worse, weaker glasses, and you wear them, and you have to like, it's almost like exercising your eyes. You have to incentivize your eyes to work the other way, right? So what I do, I got really fucking creative with this. So first I laminated a sign. I used to go to like this park which had like a street sign mad far, and it's just, the distance was perfect. So I would sit at this bench, every weekend for like an hour each day, because I'm really aggressive with this. You don't have to do it that much, maybe a little bit less. You got to figure out things to do. You got to change the way you use your eyes. Change your habits. So if you're watching TV a lot, you got to change that, because your eyes, you're just fucking up your eyes the more you watch TV without taking breaks. I'm rambling, but it's a lot of information.
Dr. Adis.
So I would go And I would see this sign, and I can read it. You got to be able to read it, but it can't be perfectly clear. It has to be slightly blurry where you can still read it. And then you look at it, and you blink, and your eye is like, your eye is not like a static, solid thing. It's organic. It's like a muscle, right? So like it starts to warp itself slightly. Like you blink, and like oh, it's clear for like a second.
Yeah.
All right, and then like if you sit there, so what happened with me is like, it should happen with everybody who's doing this properly, is that if you sit down, you can read it, it's blurry. By 15 minutes in, you're still looking, you kind of blink, you kind of like, you got to make sure you have moisture in your eyes, right? You kind of like, I try and move them around and just blink a little bit, and then it's clear for like a second. You're like, oh, wow, it looked perfectly clear for a second. And then you just, another half hour later, you're like, oh, it's clear, and then you can hold it for like 2 seconds or 3 seconds. And then, then you do a few more weeks, and eventually you can hold it for like 5 seconds. And you're like, whoa, it's perfectly clear. Holy shit.
For 5 seconds.
And it's so weird because it's so like, it's like surprising because you'll see and you're like, whoa, it looks fucking perfect. Out of nowhere. It'll just look perfect. So anyway, and then you're basically that's your eye like trying to see it. Like, that you said your eye, like the image was upside down and eventually your brain's like, oh, it's supposed to be like this. Where your eye's like, oh, I know what that is. But it doesn't look clear. So it's supposed to be clear like this. And it'll just keep moving itself.
Like a lens of a camera. Like it adjusts just to get the image right.
Exactly. So you keep doing that. It takes time, because like when you get glasses, like you learn over time. So you're using the distance glasses for close. Your eye's elongating. And now you're like, fuck, now the light's not hitting back there anymore. It's hitting slightly in front. You're like, shit, I need new glasses.
Yeah.
And then it moves the light back. But then you use your glasses for computer again. Now it's like, oh.
So you don't correct it like people are overcorrecting instead of letting it fix on its own. So now I'm like kind of scared to like when I have kids, like, should I give them glasses? Like, nah, look at a fucking stop sign, you idiot.
That's true. So good. It's making sense.
No, it just makes a lot of sense. Again, like that's how I look at it. Is like you're just putting duct tape on it. And it's like, hopefully, we're
treating the symptom but not the cause, right?
And like growing up, like I was like 8 years old when I started wearing glasses, and my vision got worse and worse and worse. Probably not because of glasses. The reason I probably had to get glasses first was because I was fucking sit this far from the TV for hours at a time. That makes a lot of sense.
Without taking breaks.
Yeah,
So
without taking breaks.
You can still look at things close, but you have to take breaks.
I've been doing that now with my like now that I'm sitting in front of a computer for so long, like 8 hours of the day sitting in front of a fucking computer.
That's rough, bro.
I have to like look around. I look out the window. I look at people because that's like I've heard the same thing, similar thing where they say like a good way to improve your vision is stick your arm out as far as you can and stick out your thumb. Look at your thumb and then look at that thing that's far away and then look back at the thumb and back and forth.
Okay, so yeah, it's kind of working the muscle, trying to keep the muscle loose, because you don't want the muscle to be static and stuck in one spot.
Yeah, so I'm sure that's a similar thing. That's why it's kind of like...
That's kind of like the Bates method thing, actually.
Okay,
they do exercises like that. And like, they kind of, those do work, but no, I guess it'll fix this muscle spasm. Okay. But it won't go that extra distance to fix
improve your vision.
Because the muscle spasm did fuck up your vision to a point.
Okay.
But if you wore glasses after that and then your eye elongated, then it's not going to fix the elongation.
Okay.
So it'll fix one part, but not the other.
So the way to improve it is for long periods of time, look at something that's far distance.
Yeah, as much as you can. Yeah. So there's different things to do. Yeah. So number one is to two things actually. So get 2 pairs of glasses. So if you wear glasses, you have LASIK. So
I got LASIK.
I'm going to go into that in a second because that's really interesting.
I'm like that's where I want to go to now because I'm like, what the fuck did I do to my eyes?
That's really interesting. But we'll get to 2 things. So get 2 pairs of glasses. One specifically because I did say if you're wearing your distance glasses for close up, it's overpowered. So you clearly have to get glasses that are perfect or just slightly weaker for computer work. Okay, so you don't want to cause that problem. Your eyes are getting worse because you're using overpowered glasses for close-up. So you have to get weak glasses and use them specifically for close-up so you stop that problem. And then to fix and improve your eyesight, then you get slightly weaker glasses than your normal prescription. So if you have whatever got you to 20/20 with your glasses, whatever that is, make it slightly weaker and use those. And specifically use it, I was saying, like, find a sign that's far away and hang out for like a half hour. Try and do it several times a week. If you have more time, do it for like an hour, 45 minutes. You got to like find things to do, like listen to The Path. Jaguar.
listen to this while doing this. Because it's gonna make your vision even better. Because your brain's gonna be understanding this. Like, oh yeah, the pseudo myopic. Now I get it.
That's what I would do. So I would, instead of watching videos, I'd try and like download them and then listen to them. And if there's something important I want to see, I'll just okay, cool, put that shit down
instead of fucking staring at it.
Instead of staring at it, so I listened to stuff. So as it got cold, I was like, I don't want to go to the fucking park anymore, and I don't want to leave my house. So I got a laminated sign of like of an eye chart, like big letters on. I put them on my fucking fence, like in the back of the bag.
Oh, that's funny.
Pretty far. So like in the morning, on the weekends, I'll just get my breakfast or I get a smoothie, listen to something, just hang out and just stare at the sign. And then within like 10 minutes, I'm like, all right, cool, I can read this. The third line down looks clear. It's like, oh, no, it's perfect. All right, cool.
It's weird. So you watch your vision get better.
Yeah, it's so crazy, bro. It's like at first, like
surreal.
When you first learn about it, it's like magic.
Yeah, you're manipulating your reality. You're changing what you can see. That's really cool.
But then once you learn about why and how it works and what the problem is, like, oh, obviously, like if I'm doing this and it's making this happen, if I do this the other way, it should go the other way. Like it goes both ways. Like your muscles, if you work them out, your muscles get stronger. If you don't work them out, they're gonna get weaker. That's
how I imagine with the whole like look at your thumb, look far, like you're working out the muscle of your eyes because your eyes get lazy. And I've always heard the same thing.
It's nuts. So now I got even more creative. I'm like, it's cold. I don't want to stand outside. So I got another laminated sign.
God.
And I have a sliding door. So I put it through I put it on the back fence of my house where I can, in the morning I wake up, I open up the curtains of my sliding door. I sit on the table that's facing the window and I eat breakfast. I stare through and I have another sign over there. So I don't have to go outside or anything.
Yeah,
so
I love your devotion to things like this because it's your vision. Like, why not put that much time into it?
Yeah, I mean, and it's not like you do have to like put time into it, but it's not really. You just got to get more creative with your time, I guess. Like if you watch YouTube videos or listen to music, just like do it while not staring at something. Just do it like.
Instead of staring at the screen, stare at some letters.
Yeah,
now you get better vision.
You can still listen, and it's like use your eyes the way they're intended to be used, basically.
Yeah, like imagine if you can make a decision now that's going to change the way you literally see the world 30 years from now. You're going to be kicking yourself in the ass 30 years from now. Like, fuck, I wish I would have been staring at a fucking piece of paper while I ate breakfast.
And we'll talk about why it's long term. It's so good too.
Can you tell me about the LASIK thing? All right, I don't want to dwell on this too long. We got plenty more things.
Yeah, sorry, no, you're good, man. I love this shit. So this is how it works. You'll understand. So when you get the glasses, right, they shape this glass
to bend the light
light properly so it hits in the back of your eye properly, right? So then when you get contacts, it's like the same thing. That the contacts are a certain shape, so the light goes in and hits the back of your eye. So then LASIK. So what LASIK does is LASIK cuts that shape that you need onto physically your eye. So it's almost like having permanent distance glasses on your eye. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So the only issue with that, you have to, so you can go back. I don't know, what was your prescription when you first got LASIK? You said it was really bad.
Blind.
So I don't know what.
Yeah, there was no number for it. They just said you're fucked. That's what it said on my prescription. You're fucked. Good luck. But I couldn't read it because I was blind.
Like at -3, like it's not a disaster. I had -3 with astigmatism, which means like your eye's like slightly off center. It's like a little warped. So it's like if it's not lined up properly, you're like seeing double a little bit. So they readjust anyway. So, but I've seen like -7 or -13. Like that's insane, bro. So what happens is again, if you're that big, then like your eye's super elongated now. So like they cut that shape into your eye. So then the light goes in and hits here perfectly, right?
Okay.
So my thing is that like you can't. It's not really possible for you to like bring it back to where it was when you were 20/20 without LASIK, but you can bring it. You can keep. If you're 20/20 now, you can keep that 20/20 because a lot of people, their eyes get worse because what happens is they get LASIK. Oh, my eyes are awesome. Let's continue to watch TV all day. And then they elongates more because again, you have permanent distance cut into your eyes, and if they keep using their eyes improperly, it's going to elongate more, and they're going to be like, oh, it's blurry. So then they cut. And get no shape again. So then it fixes.
So that's my last LASIK.
It sounds patchwork.
Like. Yeah. That patchwork is a good.
It's more patchwork. Okay, so the problem with that, you heard of retinal detachment, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's something where like it's not guaranteed to happen, but it does increase your chances. So like as your eye elongates, the retina is like back here, and your eye is like widening and it's pulling away. So eventually, like it can be something where like I don't know if like your eyes get so bad that like it just widens so much and it just snaps. Like people get retina surgery or attachment. I don't know what they put that shit back on. I don't even know. What, they fucking open your eye? And, like I don't know what the fuck. Man. No, I don't even know how that even works. That just sounds crazy. Keep me blind. But you can just make sure you don't go that far. So as long as like if your eyes, so I would recommend getting like an eye chart here, put it somewhere, or you don't have to like hang it up or something, but like.
It's got to be something your eyes can focus on. I can't just look at a building. I have to look at.
It has to look at something where like you can make it out, but not make it out. Like it has to be specific. But in terms of like where your eyes are at, and like I would try to not go back. So like what happens is like people like let's say you have a traumatic event, or not traumatic. Let's say like I don't know, like something happens to you where like let's say you're playing football and like you knock helmets with somebody like. That might make the retinal like because it's already stressed on your eyes. Yeah. So it's already like you're pulling off like a rubber band. It's like and like something could in the future or something. Hopefully it doesn't. Okay, like I'm not. But there's people in the world where like something happens and like my retina detached. Like too much stress on it, strain on it. So again, you gotta get creative. Definitely look at it. Like for me. If I lived here, you got a window here, I would have the TV here. And I would measure out like, I don't know, I'd fucking watch TV from like that counter over there.
Okay.
And what I do also, super creative, at my office I have another fucking sign. I take a break and it's like I put it on the wall and for 30 minutes I take my break, I eat something. I might be eating and looking at the sign and then it's like, hey, I was just staring at the screen for like 3 hours. Sit down for a half hour, I'll listen to some music or YouTube. And I just stare at the eye chart, and I can tell like, all right, my eyes are here, and you can see when you start looking, it's kind of blurry, and then a half hour later, it's like, oh, now I can read the next line now. I couldn't before, now I can read it, and then you just gotta keep finding things like that. When I watch basketball, the Lakers play tonight. Damn. 9:00. They're probably playing right now. It's tough to not watch the game right now, but it's so hard to get out here too. Yeah, I'm gonna watch this shit tomorrow morning. But when I watch basketball, if you remember, so my house is kind of set up like this, right? Living room, and then it has a hallway. So I sit in the fucking hallway. I watch the game from the hallway, and I sit in a position where I can see the score, like just barely.
Okay.
That's like, and like I'm over 20, so I'm basically getting eye work exercise
while you're watching
the sport. Yeah. And then what happens, like I can't see everything perfectly. Like sometimes like my brother's watching, I'm like, oh, was that LeBron? Is he on the court? Like I think that's him. Like I'll see him dribble. It's like, oh yeah, it's him dribbling. So like I can see, but it's not perfect. So then like, I watch 3/4 of the game like that from back there. Like, oh, fourth quarter, and I go up to the couch.
Yes. Yeah, no, it's cool,
and then
man.
On top of that, we'll move on after this. On top of that, when I sit on the couch, I have another sign in the dining room. So during commercial break, I'm like, break. And I'll look at over there and see what's on. So,
like this must be on your mind all the time. It seems like because it's like multiple times a day you're doing this.
Yeah, I'm always doing it. And like again, like I'm sitting on the couch anyway. Mm-hmm. It's like, what am I gonna do? Like watch commercials? Like why?
Of course, yeah.
I'll just look over here.
It's easy to just be like, I'm gonna look at my phone. I'm not gonna watch commercials. Let me stare at my fucking screen that's a foot away from my face.
And I catch myself doing that. Like it took me a while to get to my new prescription I have now. But like, yeah, that's like a bad habit. Like people have that. It's like going to bed, looking at your phone, disaster. It's like,
it's the first thing I do when I wake up. Last thing I do when I go to sleep.
So I mean, if you're doing it like for a few like 30 seconds, like no big deal. Mm-hmm. But like if you're on there, like that's why I used to watch stuff on my phone, like movies. Mm-hmm. Oh my god, that's thinking about it now. That's a complete disaster.
Yeah.
Like you can't get any worse because the phone's like here.
Dude, my eyes hurt like talking about this.
Yeah. Oh my god, so bad. But anyway, to know where I'm at, so I started with -3 on both eyes with astigmatism.
Okay, yes.
Okay,
same.
so today my previous glasses before I moved to these were -2 on each eye.
Okay.
And I decreased the astigmatism little by little because you want your eye to like slowly start working its way back this way and that way, like slowly.
So this can fix astigmatisms too.
Yeah, because astigmatism is just because like your eyes like slightly off center. I don't know why, for whatever reason. But like
I thought it was a genetic thing.
Yeah, so yeah, I guess it's not genetic.
Yeah, if you can fix it. Well.
So what happens is like if you can actually like wipe out the astigmatism, but then you have to give yourself a stronger power prescription because like you have to offset the fact that your eyes are like slightly because you can. It's hard to explain. I don't think I'm going to explain it, but anyway, if you can either decrease your astigmatism and prescription slowly over time, but I think for me it was just going to be too difficult to track that properly. So I was like, you can wipe that clean, give yourself stronger prescription, and then work your way backwards that way. Okay. So you don't have to worry about those other numbers. Prescription for your left and right eyes is simple. It's like it's like -3 and then 2, and then it's either. And it goes down by 0.25 each time. So that's easier to like decrease. Mm-hmm. So my other ones I can see 20/20 with is -2. I think it was -2 and then reduce astigmatism. So I was like, you know what, forget that. So now I have these and again my left eye sucks. So I can't even see 20/20 with it. So these are actually, this is -2.25 on my right eye. And this is -2.5. I think on my left eye. So this one's stronger on my left eye. So, I mean, that's huge. And like, I can't see 20/20 with these yet because I just got them. I could see 20/20 with my previous ones. But now once you get to that 20/20, like, all right, cool. Now you're ready for the next decrease, right?
Okay.
So it
now it sounds like you have to like go through a lot of glasses now.
Yeah.
But I guess it's a small price to pay for better vision
like
without
you
glasses.
can find these glasses. Like I found them online. There's a website called Zenni. Again, like I'm not promoting Zenni. Imagine. But no, you can look online. You can find glass for cheap. Like these are $15.
Oh,
like,
cool.
Crazy cheap.
Yeah.
So then I got this, and you subtract even more for your closer glasses. So total, it's like every 4 or 5 months, I'm spending like $30. And
okay.
Like,
again, that's worth it to
so
never have to wear glasses.
It's amazing. Like I wear these now, and like now I just have to do that, continue those habits, and eventually, like I can't read 20/20, and eventually 3 or 4 months later, I can be like, oh, nice, I can see 20/20 again, and then you go even lower. So it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, like I went from being one of the people with the worst vision that I know. Like no matter where I went, I always had the worst vision. Now I have better vision than everybody because everybody got older, and then like everybody's vision starts crapping out. But I just got new eyes like 3 years ago. But like now that I sit in front of a computer more, and it's not something I've done since I got LASIK as much as I do now. It's like I do feel like headaches come on a little. Not even headaches. It doesn't even get that bad, but it's like I'm more aware of my eyes. But I guess because I'm just more aware that I'm doing damage to it, like my brain tells me like, all right, you gotta stop looking at this, walk away.
I noticed that too. It's like once you realize what's going on, like you can feel I don't know if it's not, maybe like you're imagining it, but like I start to like kind of feel that extra little tiny pressure. I'm like, whoa, like.
It's your awareness
and
of
then,
it
and then
more
you,
so.
And then
I
you
feel
look
like
something far away, like, all right, now my eyes are relaxed.
Yeah,
like, you know, it can't be, it has to be real. Like I'm not.
No, it is. It's real, but it's kind of like
that's what is happening. Like there is strain on your eye when you're looking at things close.
Yeah, like one thing I could compare it to is like after I started doing hot yoga, like after all the sweating, I would have to drink all that water afterwards. I noticed after that I'd get thirstier more frequently, and it's not like I drink enough water. I never drank enough water. Nobody drinks enough water.
No, that's true.
Yeah, but now like I notice people don't drink fucking water, and I drink way more than they do.
Nobody fucking.
Yeah, but I notice that now my throat gets drier sooner, which sounds like a negative. Like I'm like thirstier all the time.
You're noticing it. Maybe
I think my awareness brings me to it because it's now this is where we need to be. We need to be this much water.
Your body knows like, oh, this is great being hydrated. It's
yeah.
Like, wait, I want to go back there again.
Like, hey, it's good for my eyes not to get crap out. So let's trigger some pain in you so that you remember, hey, I got to back off this computer screen.
Oh, I'm about the hydration. So if
Dr. Adis, back up.
If you pee and your pee's yellow, you're dehydrated.
You're dehydrated.
Just so you know. And if it's they say like it should be just a tiny bit yellow, and then you're good. So if you're peeing and it's yellow, you're not drinking enough water. That's a easy self test. All right.
Yeah, and nobody does because people don't think about it. And then they drink juice or beer, and it's like, I had water. Like, no, that's making you thirstier. You're getting more dehydrated. That's fucking crazy because that's what I'll do.
Because you have to pee out all the alcohol, and then when you're doing that, you're peeing out all this extra. water you have in your body, and your body's 70% water, I think it is.
Yeah. And then the same thing with salt and sugar, because then you're taking all that salt and sugar. Now your body has to
get rid of it.
And
you're like, not peeing out grains of salt.
Yeah, I hope not. That's how you get that's probably how you get fucking kidney stones. Shit, that's exactly it, I'm sure. We're fucking doctors today, bro.
Two brains. We're just learning new shit together, just piecing together this amazing puzzle.
Throw me more stuff.
Yeah, so I guess that covers the eye thing. So I guess the other thing is on average. So if you do this, I just recommend you're using your eyes anyway, just use them better.
Yeah, you want to keep using them.
But on average, people improve 1 diopter a year. So it takes time, right? And slowly but surely, you can, in fact, people might not believe this, yes, you can, in fact, get back to 20/20 vision.
Dope.
Okay, over time, just got to make a conscious effort and change your horrible habits. If you have bad eyes, that means you just have bad habits.
Yeah.
And it's scary because there's kids and stuff with glasses. I'm like, oh, I think Elvis's kid has glasses, right, Johnny? I mean,
all
everybody's
those kids do. All kids do, man.
But I think one day I saw him with these huge glasses. Like, oh god,
dude, that's how mine were, man. It was like the bottom of the a bottle. That's how thick they were.
Yeah, and it's like, if I don't, I want to. That's why I kind of want to do this, because I don't want to go up to them and be like, hey, you need to do this for you. So hopefully they'll listen to it and they'll understand, hey, if it's me, knowing that what I know, I would try and reverse the habits that he has and be like, hey, spend more time outside, let's do this, let's do that.
His oldest kid does. He's an athlete. But then you think about how much time you spend at a desk looking at your notebook,
school,
phone, iPad, games. TV, or just being in a school, being in the house, being wherever.
Yeah.
You're not going to be looking that far away.
Yeah, you're not. And again, it's more than 20 minutes and more than 20 feet.
Yeah,
you got to think about that. It's you rarely do that. So, and it's funny because I'm considering getting a big TV so I can play my video games and shit. I'm watch movies and TV from mad far. And so
it's a way to do it. Yeah,
I was I might this way. I don't have to think about it, because now if I sit down to do something whatever, watch a movie, play a game, I'm oh, okay, so I can't do this for too long because every second I'm fucking up my eyes. Yeah. I really am,
dude. But now you could. Here's another thing. This is gonna probably drive you crazy. They say that sitting down is the new smoking.
Oh my god, sitting down is horrible.
Yeah, so now it's I have to think about that too. I can't fucking sit down because every time I sit down, every second is a fucking clock going off.
Oh my god, it's
fucking on my body. I'm trying to sit up straight at all times.
Yeah,
it's not easy.
I got a bad habit with that. I think I need a. if you had a smaller pillow, I'd put it right. Actually, no, maybe I'm good.
There you go. Get comfortable, bro.
But one of the doctors I follow, Dr. Michael Greger, he says that sitting down for 6 hours a day, and it kind of cancels out a 1 hour workout at the gym.
Wow.
It's not.
Makes sense,
it's hurting you so much that even if you go to the gym, somebody who doesn't sit for 6 hours is better off than you are. It's crazy. So when you're sitting, you got to give yourself a reason to stand up. It's all right, let me walk. I have a printer. I'm printing shit all the time. Get up, go to the printer.
And those stand-up desks are getting more popular. You can sit down and then you can lift it up when you stand up.
Yes.
I have to do the same thing. I have to stand up and move around.
My legs would get. I think I would try when I was studying and stuff, and I'll stand for too long, and then my legs would be sore, my back will hurt a little bit because it's I was standing for hours, and it's you can't standing still for a long period of time. So then there's the treadmills
Oh no!
So people that guy, that Dr. McGregor guy, he'll do interviews live whatever questions and stuff on Facebook or YouTube, and he'll just walk on his treadmill the whole time. He's this is Dr. Michael Greger from my treadmill.
Dude, the next episode we're both gonna have treadmills, so we're gonna just talk to each other when we walk. That's gonna be that's gonna be the new path of Jaguar. Double treadmill conversations. Fuck, dude. Yeah.
Oh, wow. But it's cool that you know that, because you definitely you're knowledgeable yourself.
Yeah, I try to, because those type of things, that's the same reason I never got into cigarettes. It's those little things that I'm I shouldn't be doing this. I still fucking eat candy and fucking donuts, but those things they eat away at me.
Yeah, I mean, you
can't
think about
it.
You can't be perfect.
You can't.
But if you're doing 90% great, your body can
as long as I'm better than the average person, as long as I'm not that's
your body will take care of a little bit of crap for you. It naturally heals itself. Right?
But I don't want I remember meeting some dude who Like he worked at a beer distributor, right? And he would just sit behind the counter all day. And I've never seen the guy stand up. He's always sitting down. One day I finally seen him stand up, and he was facing down when he was standing up. Like he could not straighten his spine.
It took a while.
No, he couldn't. Like he was literally leaning over, walking. Like he had to walk, and he was facing down the whole time.
Oh my god!
Like, because he's old. He's an old dude. So like after years of doing that, imagine. So it's like that brought my attention. And like anytime I feel myself slouching, that's like the image I get. And I'm like, and like I also feel the pain now when I'm like slouching.
Wow, can I tell you something about standing up? I'm going to tell you everything. Of course I can tell you.
Dr. Deese, tell us.
Of course I can tell you. But this is actually from Tony Robbins. So there's been studies that show that, people like from, people that have like depression, right? You might have come across it. But like if they, so there was a study that made these group of people, no medication, no nothing. All they had them do was like every day, I forgot for how long, I don't know if it's like a few minutes throughout the days, multiple times a day, where they had them stand up straight, put their chest out, and hold a smile.
Was it the Superman pose, the superhero pose, or something like that? Yeah.
And what happens is your body releases testosterone, and it also releases like this other chemical to like make you happy or whatever, like just change your mood.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because like basically it's so weird, but like it's true. Like it's crazy. Like you really sense. Like it's like I don't know. It's just like a psychological thing. Like it's just
with like specifically just smiling. Because think about it, when you're happy, when the happy chemicals are floating through your brain, you smile. So then the reverse happens. If you smile, then the happy chemicals come through. Same deal. If you're standing like tall and you're,
confident,
and you're confident, you start convincing your brain you're confident.
That's what it was. Motion is
emotion. Yeah, that was a big thing with sales. Yeah. That was a big one. Like that's exactly what you want to do. You always wanted to be moving and like and so on because you actually like
because you can kind of like it's not really like trick your body, but you can like put your body in a position to do what you want it to do in a way, basically. It's like
which is tricking it.
It's which is tricking it.
And there's a lot of big things like that. Like I'm like even with like so I'm not a religious person, but like not prayer. What?
A little bit.
Well, it depends what you mean by religious. I'm essentially creating my own religion. You know what I mean? I'm creating my own practices and my own disciplines. So yes, in that way, yes. Okay. But like prayer is one of those things. Like one thing to go, oh, please get me my new Corvette. Like that's not real prayer. But if you're like, hey, take care of this person, please. Like I wish the best for this person. Like you start
sending out positive like.
Not even like let's say it doesn't affect that person at all, but. In your mind, it makes you more of like a loving person because you're constantly being empathetic and you're thinking of other people. Or if you go like positive self-talk. Like,
yes,
I'm gonna get that job today. And you keep saying that. Like you start like creating it in your brain that you're gonna and like you create that confidence.
Yes,
like all those things are tied into one another.
Definitely.
Like you can. We have a lot more control of ourselves than we think. We also have less control than we think as well, simultaneously, which is a nice contradiction.
Yeah, it's like, but it's good, like all that stuff, because what happens is like people, you start creating negative stuff in your brain. So when you do this, you kind of like, because it seems like most people like they don't believe in themselves. You know, I mean, like we all go through it, right? Like at some point, like, oh, I don't think I can do this. I'm not good enough. I'm not this. I'm not that. And then like you gotta, instead of keep saying that to yourself, then you say the positive stuff, and then that'll stick.
Yeah, like like imagine like if you had 100 negative thoughts in a day, like how impactful that is, and it's only going to compound because you're going to think more and more of those, and they're gonna have more of an impact. But now if you took those exact 100 and you just turned them into positive, it's not 100 difference, it's a 200 difference because you went from negative 100 to 100.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So it's a big fucking difference. Now you're like
200 swing. Yeah,
you're gonna be a completely different person.
True. Have you heard of the rice experiment?
No.
Damn. Okay, this is good.
Go for it.
I haven't tried it myself, but I've heard from people that I mean, not like whatever. I guess it's people online, but people that like you feel that are really being honest, right? But I've heard it multiple times. So what happens is you get 2 jars and you cook like rice, white rice, right? 2 jars, and I think they have to be sealed. Like you can't see. They're like I don't know, it can be cans or jars, whatever. You can't see through them. And what you do is you put in like 2 different parts of this apartment, right? So maybe like one over here, and you label it like love.
Okay, I'm already skeptical.
This is good shit right there. And then you put the other one like somewhere else, I guess. So they're far apart and good distance for a reason. and put maybe the other one's like hate or something.
Okay.
So every day, you go to this one that says love, and you say nice things to it. Say you're beautiful,
Beautiful
love
grains
you,
of rice.
You're great, amazing rice, positive shit. And then you go to the other one and you say negative shit to it. I fucking hate you, you suck, like you garbage, and rice is terrible. And after 30 days, you uncover both of them, and the one that you were nice to is still white and nice and like looks edible, and the other one looks brown and gross.
Oh,
like,
dude, I'm so
I
skeptical.
want to try that, but I forgot about it. And I came across it again the other day, and the guy's like, hey, like, he's like, I would record it, but like, you know, over 30 days, like, you know, people aren't going to believe me, so I'm not going to bother. Like, I did it myself. He's like, I'm with my wife. We did it together. And then after it happened, we made a huge effort to say positive things to each other because of what they said. Like, I don't think they're making that shit up. Like, I don't know, maybe they placed the bad rice in a really bad spot or something. Like, I don't know.
Or
like, next to like some heat or I don't know what. But it seemed really genuine. Like, I mean, the fact, you know, we talk about how, like, energy and positivity, like, it affects you emotionally. Like, so now they're saying it affects you, like, physically, too. So, I mean,
well,
so that's
I
really
believe
interesting.
that.
So,
yeah, well, whether that, I'm gonna say no. Rice,
You're gonna
rice
say
is
no.
gonna be right.
All right.
But that doesn't,
But you haven't
that
tried
doesn't
it.
discredit.
I'm not
like,
saying I believe it or don't believe it, but I want to try it for I don't think it's impossible.
Go for it. Yeah, who knows? Because I know I've seen something where they did the same thing with droplets of water.
Okay.
And like you know, when you look at it microscopically, like they pick up different geometric shapes, and the ones with the positive and the negative, they look completely different.
Oh, wow.
And like when you look at the pictures, it's like, holy shit, these the positive ones are like prettier and like all elegant images, where the geometric shapes and the hateful ones were like. It was
Wow.
like, yeah.
Okay.
But again, I'm very skeptical when it comes to things like that, just because who knows how those things work. But that doesn't discredit the fact that we should be positive.
Yes.
Because I do think it affects us physically.
Yeah.
Because, like, if somebody walked around all day and they're like, oh, I'm sick, I don't feel good, and they're like, they literally live like that, even though they're not feeling too bad, they're tricking their body into.
Yeah, they're gonna make themselves sick.
Yeah.
They say that stress causes like
100%.
all these diseases. Like, I don't know exactly what they mean exactly by that, but like they say stress alone is like a horrible thing for your body.
It makes sense because it's a
crazy.
huge system. Everything affects everything in your body.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're like, if you really are telling yourself that like something hurts or whatever, you just feel sick, like your body's gonna start to break down because.
Yeah, I mean, it gets the other way too. Like, you know, every time I finish a play and someone comes up to me like, "You suck," yeah, I'm gonna think I suck, and then I'm gonna do poorly.
Yeah,
Or
and the next time
playing
you're gonna be
sports.
nervous and like, "Oh my god, did I suck that time?" 100%, 100%. That's why they say like, "Fake it till you make it" type of deal. Because it's like,
that's so true. I said that the other day to a friend of mine. That's like a real thing. But yeah, like with sports too. It's like, you know, you go up there, like, you know, have confidence, you believe in yourself, you're not gonna play well, and then when you're like. That's what something happened with me where the last 4 or 5 years I played, I was like, you know what, I need to stay confident and positive. So every time I went up to hit, I'm like, I'm fucking amazing. Like, I'm the best hitter here. Like, I would say that, and I had a great, amazing year.
yeah, it's that positive self-talk I was talking about.
So
100%.
So it works both ways, right?
Yeah. Because that's what I'm saying. Like for us to affect an inanimate object, again, I'll be very skeptical, but I'd be super surprised if they somehow prove that the way we think about ourselves and the way we look at the world doesn't affect our health. That'd be crazy. Of course it affects our health.
Of course, that's true.
Because like now imagine like if you just like, oh, I'm unhealthy, like I don't give a fuck, I don't feel good, you're probably not going to give a fuck about the other things that you do. You're not going to care about increasing your vision or your posture or your hydration because you're like, oh, I'm dying. Yeah. I'm sick anyways. Like my stomach hurts all the time. You know, if you just keep telling yourself that.
Active in general. It's crazy. I'm trying to think what we were talking about. Health and stuff. I don't know if we're going to go into veganism. But
I know you had some other things you want to talk about. I know we haven't got to talk about veganism. I just want to bring that up.
I guess it was one last thing with money and investment. And
go for it, dude.
I think that's huge. I mean,
go crazy.
I guess with me, I read that book, right? Unshakable. Mm-hmm. It's over here somewhere.
Somewhere up
you guys have
top right there.
You guys got to read that.
I'm gonna. Right. I'm gonna.
But you're already you're working on that anyway, so at least you definitely started.
Yeah, just from the little things that you've taught me, like I've just been.
It's so
staying
huge.
On top of that.
The thing is, I read like, especially in America, it seems like to be. I mean, I don't know too much about other countries, but from what like articles you read here about just like the average household, like they don't have like, I forgot if it was like $400 in their savings.
I think it was something like that. It was like $400 in a case of an emergency.
It's like 90% of people, like it's insanity, bro. It's like insanity.
So everybody wants to fucking buy AirPods and fucking the
Everybody's
iPhone 12.
Materialistic, but also like they just don't know how to.
Mind swiping that? The amount of fucking interruptions, dude. That thing? Yeah, just swipe it down.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess they don't know. It's just good spending habits, or maybe they feel pressure that they have to buy certain things, or maybe they don't realize that they can put themselves in a better financial position.
It's all of it.
Like,
it's all of it. It's number one
I
thing.
didn't know. Yeah, I mean that could be the number one, because like I didn't know that I can do this with my money. I mean, like I've always saved, but I didn't know it can make this big of a difference, like long term. So once I saw that, I was like, holy crap! Like everybody should do this. Like everybody should try and really do this. And I think people just don't think. I guess it's like the vision thing. It's like, I can't improve my eyes. That's not true. Like, I have to get glasses. My eyes are fucked up. It's like, no, you can. This is real.
Yeah, they'll be like invest money. Like, no, like nobody makes money off that. I'm not gonna make money.
The stock market's crazy. Like, no, you're gonna lose all your money. People are scared, right? You have to be unshakable. That's where they come from. Yep.
Now I don't have to read the book. Now I get the whole idea. Yeah, and it's also the aspect that it's people want instant gratification. So you get your $400 check, you put like the $100 aside for your rent or whatever, your groceries, and the rest is like, oh cool, I have $300 now. I'm gonna go buy the fucking new whatever.
People think like, or people view having money as, it's there to spend.
Yeah,
like, you don't have to spend your money, people.
You're not thinking more than
you're not thinking
the end of the week. It makes sense that people are like that.
It's just tough. I think a lot of people just don't realize what they can do with their money and how it can grow and it can make money for you. Like it's like a joke, really.
Yeah,
it's a complete.
Like,
it's
what the
crazy.
fuck am I gonna do? Have a new pair of sneakers instead of like having money that's making me more money and I can just do whatever I want with it?
Yeah, I mean, think about all the things that you buy or you own. It's like, well, how much of this stuff do I need? Because I buy the things that I want, but I don't buy everything. Like impulses, like you see a cool computer, like you have a computer, it fucking works. Like you don't need but it's crazy shit like that. It's just nuts, man. But I guess the thing is talking about like the number one secret that people don't realize, the easiest thing about like how to have money, and it's not about how much you make. I mean, you obviously have to make enough to live, but it's not necessarily how much you make. It's just spending less than what you make. That's it.
Yeah, that's
just don't spend all your money.
That's like a physics thing too. Like you there's only so much energy you can put out from the energy that comes in, or some shit like that.
And people get into trouble because they make X amount and they spend all of it. They make whatever, 500, 1,000, or whatever more a week, and they're like, oh, I can spend all of it. No, you spend less of it, and then take that and put it in. I guess to be specific, right? We'll get through this topic. So the book talks about index funds, right?
Okay.
So those are really good because, do you remember?
I remember mutual funds, and I remember
mutual funds, index funds, right?
Mutual and index similar.
So they're similar, to just managed differently, right? Okay. So, but I guess so. Yeah, for the listeners, right, and for your, I guess, a review for Mike is So the book talks about how like one of the best, easiest, and long term, like the safest place to put your money is index funds, right? So mutual funds is like a collection of stocks, bonds, whatever, and it's managed by people, right? So those people have to get paid to pick those funds, right? Yes. But if you do an index fund, it's just matched up with the stock market as a whole. And
randomized, essentially.
Randomized, right? And it's either like, all right, this is an index fund for overseas, or this is an index fund for technology, or like it has groups and areas, but at the same time, you don't need anybody to pick those out. Somebody just agrees like, hey, we're going to use this index fund for this. Nobody needs to stand there and pick and choose and swap them out. So it costs less, and like there's an expense, so it can be very small. It's like 0.02% of whatever you make, or they get a cut of that. Right?
Okay.
So if you use a company like Vanguard, it costs you 0.02% of your money, and they goes to that, and then you keep the rest of the interest. But if you do a mutual fund, it's higher. It's still a small percentage, but if it's like let's say it's 10%. So the other one was 0.02 because they're really small. Index funds are like nothing. I don't know if it's 0.02 or 0.2, but anyway, of a percent. But it's really small. And then the other one can be like 10%, 10%.
Okay.
So if you look at 0.02 versus 0.10, that's a 5 times difference.
Yeah.
And
That
over
money
the
could've been
course of
yours.
20, 30, 40 years, that's a shit ton of money. And meanwhile, the statistics show that mutual funds don't even, over the long term, don't beat index funds anyway. Stock market as a whole does better on its own than people trying to individually like try and beat the stock market and manage index funds.
Now, could you do like? Has anybody like compared doing like an index to you randomly selecting them? Let's say
like
you
you
go
personally, or-
yeah. Let's say like all right, whatever, it's $10,000 in this index, or I can just take 10,000 and randomly select stocks. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
with
you
like
can-
some sort of like influence. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I like this company's name. Oh, I bought something from this company.
Yeah,
or,
I mean, you can do that. I guess the reason why index funds end up winning is because over the long term they win.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're just like really like, lucky and pick like Google.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, so like Google over the long term probably will beat the index, whatever. Like,
but that's
index
just by
fund.
luck.
But that's just
But you might get a Google in an index.
Yeah, you'll get a Google index. So like ideally, like you want to mix up your money, right? You want to do some stocks, depending on
Diversify
who
your
you are.
bonds.
Yeah, diversify stuff. So so people out there, hopefully family and friends that watch this, like it's really important to try and find a company to put some money aside in an index fund. Also do like the retirement accounts, right? The IRAs, that money sits there and you can't touch it. So it incentivizes you to not touch it. And the benefit with that is that when they allow you to take the money out, you can take it out before, but they penalize you with the huge, I guess, big fees, right? But if you leave it very long term, finally when you take that money out, the profit you made, they don't tax you on it. But the index funds, you can take it out whenever. So if I put whatever, like 10,000 in, and it's like, 2 years later, now it's at 15,000. Oh, let me take the 5,000 out. Then they'll tax you on the 5,000.
But it's not being taxed all the while it's sitting.
No,
there.
so it's not taxed until the accounting term is it's a realized gain.
Okay.
So realized means it's real now because you actually physically took the money.
Yeah,
but if it's still
yeah.
sitting there, it's like, well, you don't really have it. It's there. Like it could go back down. So once it's a realized gain and you take the money out and you put it in your bank account or
That's
do
what I was
something
gonna
else
say.
with it,
So, like-
then they'll tax you. But if you leave it there all the time, they won't tax you until finally that one day when you actually take it out.
Does it equal out? So let's say I have like 10,000 in the bank and I have 10,000 in stock, and let's just say the interest on the bank account and the amount I've made is exactly the same, just to make it a wash.
Interest on a bank account
Let's say it's the
versus-
same. No, I'm not comparing the interest. I'm just saying I put 10,000 in the bank. I put 10,000 in the stock market, and let's say the money, like 30 years pass by. Let's just say, I know it's not likely, but just for the sake of the argument, the amount it increased in the stock market and the interest on the bank account were exactly the same.
Okay.
And then I take that money out of the stock market. Did I make more money because I didn't get taxed like the money in the bank account did?
Did you make more money?
Because like I now take it out, but I haven't been paying taxes on it for 30 years.
Oh, okay.
But now I'm going to pay taxes on it. Does it equal out, or is it just
Yeah, I'm not sure
okay?
of the question exactly.
No, the question's weird. Fuck it, skip it. It's not that
I
important.
mean, you're the interest in your bank account. You're gonna put down your taxes, and it does get. It is part of your income, but I guess it's so small. But I guess over time is what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm just
I
trying
mean,
to
it
see
is
like
a percentage either way, so I think it should be the same.
essentially what my
I
question
guess
is
I'm-
asking is if I put money in the stock market. Again, ignoring the fact that I'm more than likely to get an increase in my money. Am I also avoiding taxes doing that? I know I have to pay taxes at the end, but am I avoiding a big chunk of taxes by just letting it sit there for years?
Oh, I see.
That's the
Yeah,
thing.
no, yeah.
It's the same thing at the end. Of
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Okay.
You're
okay.
kind of like it's called deferring the taxes. I think
Okay,
it's
so you're
called.
just pushing them off for later.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's like,
okay.
I don't want to. You're gonna pay the tax on it
Okay,
eventually.
the,
Right?
the government's always gonna get its cut. The house always wins. They're not fucking around.
So yes, so people, you don't understand how like massive this difference is. Like, if you're smart with your money and you put some aside, there's an example in the book, and the numbers are slightly. I'm not 100% sure of the numbers, but I think it's like somebody who's like 27.
You mind sliding it down, not up? Down.
This way.
Yeah. Stop.
Is there a button or something?
The bottom one.
There's a stop button.
Fucking.
get it?
Yeah, you
Okay.
got it. Good job.
I didn't have my glasses on.
Sorry.
So it's a little blurry.
So that's my alarm to let me know that
Here's my glasses now, so I can see. I can see pretty clear.
Oh shit, you're back. How's it feel to have good vision again?
Seems great.
But go on. So what were you saying about the first?
Yeah, so the example in the book is pretty crazy. So it's like somebody who was like, I think they said if somebody was, I think it was either 27 years old, and they took like $19,000, like whatever. Let's say they worked, they saved that up, and they take that money and they put it in the index fund, and they don't put a single dime in until they're like 67 or 69, right? You're retiring. At that point, you would have like, I think it was like $1.5 million. Like, because yes,
dope.
because it's the compound interest, right?
Yeah.
So like you started with a good chunk of like almost 20,000, and then that you get like the index fund I think grows like 7 or 8% on average every year, and the stock market statistically bombs once out of every 4 years, and then it comes back. It's called a bull market and something else I forgot. But anyway, so like when it goes down, chill the fuck out, leave it there. And you're technically supposed to keep some additional money to the side on bonds, because those are, I guess I can define those later. But when the stock market bombs and goes down, then you take some of that money that we're sitting in bonds or maybe in a savings account, and then now you can buy these stocks that are super cheap that are going to come back up anyway. You know, so now you get them when they're super cheap. You're getting a deal. You got to think of it positively. You know, you can't be like,
oh fuck, I lost money.
Like, it's
no,
not like
I can buy shit now.
Like a stock like, you know, Google or Apple or Microsoft or like these big companies, like they've been like pretty steady. Like, yeah, there's going to be a market crash and they're going to come down, but like they're not going anywhere. Like they're huge. They do so many things. Like they're going to be successful. They're well known. And then you buy them up, and like it doesn't, and it comes back quickly. Like it'll go down, and within like a year or two, the book, you know, goes through all this stuff. Like, it'll come back quickly. You just got to deal with that year of like, fuck, I think I just lost. Like, right now, the stock market went down. I don't know if you noticed, but like, I was up like, I go percentage, right? So it's like, all the money I put in stocks alone, I was up like over 50%. Like, that's stupid. That's way too high. You expect it to come down.
Okay.
And then like within the last month, it dropped all the way down. Now I'm only up like 23% or something.
Oh fuck! I only made 23%,
and that's still amazing on its own.
But you could have bought fucking Nikes with that money, bro. You fucked up. Now you have to go to a trip to Africa to make up for it.
Damn, it's horrible, bro.
Like there's one analogy that I want to like. I feel like would help make sense of it. So the idea of sacrifice, like sacrificing now to gain later.
Yeah, what's it called? It's delaying.
Delaying gratification.
Yeah.
So delayed gratification. So people want instant gratification. You delay it and you benefit from it. Like you take 5-year-olds and you say, hey, I'm gonna give you a piece of candy every 5 minutes if you don't eat it. If you don't eat it, we'll give you another piece of candy. They're gonna eat it at the first one. You know. But there's adults like that.
Okay.
And so essentially the idea of like where sacrifice started coming into play, like where people started to like sacrifice goats to their gods, where it started getting weird and ritualistic. Yeah. The idea was winter would be coming around. They'd be, you know, they'd stock up food and they'd eat. And then towards the end of the winter, they'd be out of food. And what are they going to eat now?
Yeah.
They still have their seeds left. Now, some people would go and they would eat their seeds. But come springtime, they'd have nothing to grow, and they're just going to die eventually.
That's true. You need the seeds to grow.
Yep. But now the people who sacrificed, who said, you know, I'm just going to go hungry now.
Go hungry, maybe eat very, very little. Right?
Yeah, I'm going to push off. I'm not going to eat a lot now, so that springtime comes, they have the seeds, they can plant it. Now they have plenty of food, and they have to continue to do that.
Yep.
And that's the same idea that we need to have with our money. Where it's like, I'm going to sacrifice it now. I'm not going to go on the trip. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to buy the extra expensive thing. I'm not going to buy this extra bullshit that I don't need. I don't need a new computer yet. I'll wait another year or two.
Yep.
And then more and more money comes in because you're pushing it off.
Yep. And you got to pick your spots. Like, it's not like you're going to say, oh, from now on, I'm not going to do all these things I love to do. If you like to go out to eat, instead of going X amount of times a month, you just go less.
1 or 2 times less. Like that compounds.
That
over
makes
time.
a huge difference. Plus, going out to eat is just a horrible value proposition, but that's just my opinion.
It sucks, man. I love eating out. That's the one thing I spend so much of my money on and I feel okay with.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, well, it's delicious food, you know. But yeah, when you start to realize, like when you go to a supermarket and you're like, how many fucking vegetables did I buy with the same price I would have bought a fucking burrito at?
Especially if you're buying like, you know, rice and beans and potatoes. You can buy so much food.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But what was I going to say there with... Yeah, so it had to do with like, this is it. That I was thinking about it this way, that it's very interesting how we spend so much effort into trying to figure out how much we're so focused and put all this effort into making as much money as we possibly can with our jobs, right? So we go to school and then we, try and go to the right school because we want this great job, and then we go all these interviews. I mean, I didn't do all that stuff, but a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
And like, I got to get the perfect job, and many
overtime and this and that.
then you want to make sure, this is the salary I want, all this stuff, and you put all this effort into making that money. But then people don't put that same effort when they spend their money.
Yes.
And that's crazy to me, because people will be like, I'm at the bar and like, let me just buy all these drinks, and you'll go and you spend like $100. I mean, I don't know how much people spend, but it seems like they spend like 50, 60. I mean, you're buying drinks for like $7, $8, $9, $10, whatever you're buying.
Yes.
And the money's just like, the money flies out.
Yeah. 100%.
Like you didn't like, you made all this conscious effort when the money came in, but you don't make that effort when the money goes out. And the crazy thing is, it's like accounting. Like, if you have a business, you want to spend all this time to try and get as much income as possible, but you're also focused on your expenses of your company, because that's how you make the profit. Okay, so you're like, how can I cut costs here? How can I cut costs there? Well, you should be doing that yourself. If you're making the effort to make this money, you should make the conscious effort of when you spend. So anytime, I mean, I'm like, accountant, so like I'm all fucking calculating everything every fucking second. It's crazy. But when I go to buy stuff, I'm like, okay, cool. Well, this costs this much. What am I getting out of that? Is this going to make up for the time I spend earning that money that I'm spending? Like, if I get some sneakers or something, like, hey, I'm going to have these sneakers for a long fucking time. If they cost me $60, $70, like, that's fine. I'm going to have them for years. Like, I didn't spend years making the fucking $60, $70. That's a perfect decision. That's easy. But it's just a very, like, interesting, different way to think about it. It's like,
especially when it comes to time.
Think about the money going out just as much as you think about the money coming in. And it's weird because people don't. And it's like a society psychological thing where it's like, if I think about how I spend, then I'm considered cheap. And then it's like a negative connotation where it's like, no, not cheap is like a bad word. Well, I mean, technically cheap is. So I like the word frugal.
I was just going to say frugal. Yeah.
Because that's like you putting thought. Cheap is like, hey, I base all my decisions on cost, period. Like, that's not what, like, I personally do. I make sure, like, hey, like, sometimes I spend a little more on something than the average person. Sometimes I spend less than the average person. But I look at the value of what I'm getting versus what I'm spending. And people need to do that. People need to do that. Think about the money going out just as much as coming in.
But yeah, it's so funny that you say that, because I was going to bring up to what I was saying earlier, where it's a bad connotation to not blow your money. But if I spent 40 hours in a week making that money and then I'm just blowing it on bullshit, I'm being inconsiderate of my time.
Yeah.
I blew it on what? Like, I spent all that time sitting there doing something I don't want to do so that I can blow it on something that I don't even need to enjoy. That's not being, admirable. No, it's you're being a fucking idiot. You're just blowing money that you.
It's like you don't value your own time,
dude. How much would you pay for an extra 40 hours of life? How much would you fucking, like, at the end of you got a gun to your head, you give all your money for it. But it doesn't work in the reverse, where it's like, no, fuck it. I'm not gonna fight over $10-$20. I'm not being cheap. You know.
And without mentioning any names, like, I'll have,
I don't know what names, but it's just funny that you had to say that.
I mean, I'll have people that, like, I haven't heard in a long time, actually, because I think people finally, like, maybe caught on to, like, how I spend my money. But, like, people would view me as, like, being cheap, but then they would also be like, oh, can I borrow money?
Yeah.
How fucking insane is that?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, why don't you be cheap then?
Yeah. and it's because it goes into that, like, thought process where it's,
and I have everything I want. Like, I have 4K TV, I have fucking clothes, I got a nice new fucking jacket, I got my new fucking car the other day. I got a new 2018 Altima. Like, I have everything I fucking want. Like, I'm not. Plus, I'm a simple person, so I guess that's a little different. But
you need
like,
yeah.
I'm not sitting here. Not that I'm trying to defend myself, but, like, you don't have to get into a position where, like, I got to sacrifice all this stuff. You just got to, like, hey, if you have this one area where you, like, really, like, enjoy doing things or spending money, like, fine, do that, but don't spend that way with everything else.
Yeah,
like, spend a little extra on certain areas that, like, you really, really is a big important part of your life that you love, and all the other things you can cut back on the other things.
Yeah, people get a lot of enjoyment out of spending money. So it's like, you know, you see the famous people on TV, right? They're balling out. So they buy all these chains and things like that, and they buy because they have the money for it. They're millionaires. So when people like, and in our society now, the way they show off being rich, because these people are rich because they were actually super talented, they're really smart, whatever they did. So they're successful. We admire them. So you want to be a person who's admirable, but you have no money.
You want that lifestyle.
Yeah, so you take all your money and you blow it on the same things, the nicer shoes, the chains and all that stuff.
To make you feel that way.
And then you're out. It's pleasurable to spend money because it makes you feel like you're successful.
Yeah, that's true.
But now you're putting yourself in a position where you're not going to be. You're ensuring the fact that you're going to be living in a box.
Yeah,
is essentially like that life, because you're saying you're spending more than you're pulling in. Eventually, shit goes.
Yeah, it catches up.
Yeah, and then you don't pay your rent, and where do you live now? You're now on the street, and then that's just a fucking snowball effect after that.
Credit card debt, all that nonsense is crazy.
And then you're fucked.
So, just to be specific to, I guess, like, you know, whoever's listening, whatever. But, yeah, so the money goes aside to index funds. You leave it there. You don't touch it. Put it little by little, as much as you can. The most important thing is time. The sooner you start, the better. That's your biggest asset when investing. Like, if you can start at 20, even fucking better. If you can start at 30, if you're trying to start at 50, like, you're not going to get much out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll get something out of it, but the biggest thing that makes your money grow so much is the time that it's sitting there accumulating interest.
Compound effect.
Compounding interest. It's like you earn the interest, and then they give you interest on the interest you earn, and you didn't even put that money in there. They gave it to you anyway. It's nuts. Do that, and then depending on your age, like, you put in stocks, right? So when you're you're younger, stocks are more volatile, right? So stocks is like you're kind of like a little bit of ownership in a company. And depending how the company does, if it does well, then the value of your stock goes up, and then eventually you can sell that stock for more money. But, like, you know, companies generally just go up and down, and over the long time they'll go up, depending on, like, mostly if you pick a good company, they'll over the long term they'll go up. But there's volatility in stocks. And then bonds is like you're lending the company money, and they're like, hey, you give us $1,000, we're going to guarantee you X amount of interest, unless the company goes out of business. And then you're not going to get your fucking money.
Yeah.
But you pick and then because it's guaranteed, then it's a smaller amount. But so what happens is with things that are more volatile or not, you know, like stocks, you have to allow time for it to go up and down and deal with that over the long term. But if you don't have as much time and, like, you're older, and then you start transitioning your stuff into bonds, so you don't have to worry about, you can't risk losing, like, a good chunk of your money because you need it now.
Yeah.
You're gonna die.
you're gonna die soon. You hold on to your money.
You don't want to lose it. You want to be able to spend it. You want to have it. But, you know, with stocks, you can, you know, take that risk. You know, deal with the ups and downs. And it'll come back up. So you're younger, mostly in stocks. I think for my age, it says like 90%. 90% stocks, and that doesn't mean individual stocks. You can get an index fund of stocks, right? Okay. So 90% stocks, 10% bonds, and as you get older, then you start transitioning, maybe like 15% bonds, 20% bonds, little by little, and then you just let it sit there, and then whenever you can, put some more in it, and you'll just see that thing just balloon, and it's insane. So the goal is a very realistic, attainable goal, is to first get into a position where your investments can pay off your expenses. Well, I guess first is have additional money to do things with. It's like, oh, I want to go on vacation. Like, if I look at like how it's increased over the last couple of years, like that increase, like I could have went on like 4 or 5 vacations for free basically in the year, like, because it's just increasing. But I leave it there because I don't want that now. I want that shit later because you got to have like personal goals. Everybody's different. So whatever you want to do out there. If you want to pay for your, you know, like recreational stuff, then you don't have to put as much aside. But I want to get to a point where it's paying for my recreational stuff, it's paying for my expenses and eventually you don't have to work. Like, that's attainable. Like,
complete financial freedom.
You know, well, I guess the order is pay for your expenses, then you don't have to work. And then it'll pay for your expenses plus, like, you know, recreational stuff. And then the next level is like recreational. Do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, buy a fucking boat.
So that takes a while. But like, if you're consistent and dedicated and just just manage your money carefully, thoughtfully. Like, it's very, very easy, like, and attainable. And people don't think it's possible. And people are like, oh, no, but, I need the money. I don't want to save. And no, it's not going to grow and all this nonsense. Like, yeah.
And those same people will buy fucking lottery tickets. That's how they're going to get the retirement money.
Well, they don't have money, and then they buy the most expensive phone on the planet, which is like $1,200. And it's like, what? Like, that's just dumb.
Yeah. But I think that's a good spot to end it at.
Yeah.
Especially you saying, like, how important time is and, like, the earlier you start. And
Start now,
and very solid advice.
Cool.
Very solid advice.
And
anything you want to sign off with?
Sign off.
If you want to, because it's over. About. So I want you to.
Oh, is it over? Oh,
so yeah, we've been going on for an hour and 50.
Damn.
I don't want to hit the 2 hour mark.
You want to cut it and then do a second one?
We can fucking do 100 podcasts, Eddie. This isn't our last podcast. That's what I'm saying. We can.
Oh, but I didn't get to the veganism.
Dude, that would be a whole nother podcast.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I was trying, but that's what I was saying before, man. We can talk for a while, so that's the thing. So we'll sign off and we'll do another episode. I'm making hundreds of these.
Yeah, I knew it was gonna go a while, but
told you, bro. It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
We got a lot in there. I'm happy about that.
Me too.
Cool. I guess that's it, man. Just listen to what I said and research it yourself too, because it has to come from within.
Yes.
Like somebody can't say something to you and be like, "Oh, cool, I'll do it." Like you have to take the time to learn it internally yourself, and then it'll just be a no-brainer. Be like, "Oh yeah, obviously if I invest my money, it'll grow." Shit, I have to do that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, peace and do your own research.
Thank you, Adis. It was a lot of fun having you on here, man. You're the man. I can't wait to record another one with you.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for listening. I hope you guys learned. I know you fucking learned a lot listening to this podcast. Thank you very much again.
2 hours.
Peace.